What is up, everyone? I am TST's the Mudman, and it's time to figure out what we are going to play this weekend ranked in Gods Unchained. But probably the biggest news of the week is daily play and earn is here, which means you will no longer be earning gods through your weekend ranked runs. Of course, you'll still be getting packs, and of course, you'll still be earning gods daily through the daily play and earn system. However, I'm very interested in making some what to play every day type content. So if you could leave a comment saying what you think would be a good daily play and earn deck. Right now, I'm thinking that all commons and rares should be pretty easy to shine up, and then epics from Mortal Judgment are even more common than rares, so they're probably on the table as well. Obviously, Genesis cards will be out of it, because even common Genesis cards can be common, or can be expensive and therefore hard to shine up. But please leave me a comment saying what you think would be a good play to earn deck so I can start making those videos. But now that we've talked about the cool new stuff, let's get back to some good old weekend ranked. We are on GUDecks.com looking at God popularity over the past 7 days at Mythic Rank. And as you can see, Deception is still on top, followed by Death, then Nature, Magic, War, and Light on the bottom. When you run into Deception this weekend, it'll more often than not be Aggro Deception, lots of hidden creatures, lots of creature buffs, very hard to interact with. Death is predominantly Anubians, however, zombies have been making quite a resurgence. About like 8% of the Mythic meta is zombies right now. I don't really know why. In my opinion, zombies aren't really particularly good at anything. I don't recommend you play them, but you'll probably run into at least one zombie deck over the weekend. Nature is Wild Nature, usually pretty aggressive. Magic can be any archetype, but Control Magic is far and away the most common of the Magic archetypes. And then War is either Relic War or like a classic creature-based aggressive tempo war with lots of protected creatures. And then Light at the bottom is, you probably won't run into too much Light. It's going to predominantly be Aggro Light, but Control Light is substantially stronger than Aggro Light. But now that we've done this brief overview of the meta, let's look at some decks that you might want to play this weekend. Alright, and let's start things off with some Aggro Deception. Deception is the most popular god, and it has been for the past couple of weeks. This was the best performing deck of last weekend ranked event. This deck was made by Fontan over here, and it's what you would come to expect from the standard Hidden Rush Deception decks. This deck does have a copy of Surprise Delivery in here, which is not only some slow burst damage, but fills up your opponent's side of the board, so they have a harder time building up a big board state to outrace you. But all in all, this is the same Deception we're used to seeing. Lots of hidden creatures, lots of creature buff cards, a big sneaky bruiser at the end, Fermentary Instigator, to refill your hand if you need more stuff. Deception's been very powerful for the past couple of weeks, and this deck is, we're used to seeing it, it's very strong. And speaking of decks that we are used to seeing, if you're looking to play Death this week, you're probably going to want to play Heirloom Death. This was the best performing Heirloom Death deck over the weekend. We've probably featured this deck at some point on this series. Just normal Anubian stuff. Has the fairly low curve. Curves out at 3 minus the win condition cards of Land of the Dead. We've got the 2 Skull Scepters for lots of damage. This deck has 2 copies of Pyramid Warden, which isn't particularly common, but probably comes in handy against those Relic War decks. But yeah, just like Deception, Anubians has proven time and time again that they are very powerful, and if you're a fan of the Death archetype, then this will probably do fairly well over this weekend ranked event. Alright, next up we have Magic. This is a Control Magic list made by Cobalt Chieftain, and this deck is 99% totally normal, Control Magic stuff. We've got some, board control tools, lots of AoE and Tracking Bolt, Stormstress, Shape Blast, Unbound Flames. Cobalt has put in the very cool combo of Theoretical Thaumaturge, as well as any of your 1 damage AoE to deal 1 damage to everything, plus the bonus afterlife effect of the Thaumaturges. But the main part of this deck that caught my eye is the inclusion of Surus, Arbiter of the Trial. Magic is a god that's not particularly known for its healing, and one thing that Surus can do is if you're very low on health, if you're at the point where Surus costs 0, you can play Surus, reset your health to 10, and then follow that up with either a Dema or even better, a Helmna, and heal back up to 13, which is nearly half of your health. And if you have Helmna equipped, you also have a big frontline in the way. So it could be a nice sustain tool that Magic didn't have before. I think it's very cool. I haven't tested it, I haven't seen anybody play it, but I'm a big fan of it so far. Besides that, just normal Control Magic stuff. We have the 2 copies of Crystal Tech Scholar, since all the ramp you could possibly need, 4 points of ramp and just 2 cards, and maybe some card draw if you need it. And then, we control the board, ramp up and into those big expensive creatures, we have 2 copies of Helion Elite, 1 copy of Mormag for big damage, Eric the Dragon over here because he can be a huge warded dragon, and then those aforementioned demos and Helmnas. So if you're a fan of the slow, grindy games of control magic, I suggest throwing in a Surus in there, just like Cobalt could spice it up a whole bunch. But all in all, I think this could be a fairly powerful deck that you might want to play this weekend. Alright, next up we have War. This is a tempo war deck made by myself. And unlike many other war decks, this deck tends to win with creatures. This deck controls the board state using a combination of blitz creatures and protected creatures. We have lots of strong protected creatures in the form of Adi as well as Raid Reveler or a Walmart Adi. We also have Enduring Shield, which is able to re-protect those creatures or protect powerful creatures like Thundercaller or any of your blitzers like Wolf Cult or Tavern Brawler or even Vanguard Axewoman. We also have a handful of powerful creature buffs. We have a copy of Another Round, which pairs very nicely with those aforementioned protected creatures, or even a Thundercaller. We have Overproof Brew to capitalize on a big wide board state, buffing all of your creatures and making them protected. Overproof Brew also pairs extremely nicely with these hidden creatures in Feral Shapeshifter as well as Sneaky Bruiser. But the main part of this deck, the big combo, is Sneaky Bruiser in combination with Soul Survivor. You can play Sneaky Bruiser on turn 6, your second 5-mana turn, and then the following turn, equip it with a Soul Survivor, deal 9 damage to the entire board, and then 9 damage to your opponent's face, and end the turn with a 9-attack creature, just very, very threatening. So far, I've played 10 games with this deck with a 100% win rate, so should be easy rank 1 for this weekend ranked event. And in my opinion right now, this is probably like the most fun creature-related aggro deck currently. So if you're looking for something new, if you're looking to win a game with War and use creatures, then this could be a great deck for you. Alright, and the final archetype to discuss is Control Light. This Control Light list was made by Freedan, and this is very similar to all the Control Light lists we've discussed in the past. We have all of the powerful order stuff in here, as well as the complete board reset in Lysander's Mercy. Freedan has also put in some useful tech cards. We have a copy of Gleamweaver to fight off all the Anubians. It's also very powerful in the mirror match. We also have an Iron Tooth Goblin to destroy all of the relics floating around the meta right now, mostly the Anubians as well as the zombies, but all relic removal is pretty good in the meta currently. Freedan also threw in a Lysander Spear into this deck. Lysander Spear is becoming very popular in Control Light. It fits very nicely, just another way to make more threatening creatures. It also fits the narrative quite well. If you're going to be playing Infinite Creatures with your Radiant Embalmer plus Inescapable Duty loop, you might as well be, buffing creatures indefinitely as well. And, Control Light has proven time and time again it's very powerful. It's very good at defeating creature-centric decks, like aggressive decks, and it outvalues pretty much any control deck with that aforementioned Embalmer plus Duty loop. So if you're a fan of the Control Light archetype, a deck like Freedan's could be a great choice for this weekend ranked event. Alright, it is conclusion time. We did the stuff, we clicked the things. What should we play this weekend ranked in Gods Unchained? Well, the answer is probably Aggro Deception. It just keeps winning week after week, but if you want to fly out of left field, you could always hit them with the Creature War deck. But whatever you go with, try to have fun. Tell us how you did in the TST Discord. Please leave me feedback on what type of play and earn content you'd like to see, and have a wonderful day. Hey, you! Did you know that subscribing to the TST YouTube channel will increase your win rate by 6.9%? So what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. And while you're at it, equip Scythe of the Harvest and attack the like button directly in the face. Bye-bye!